Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well today as we get into the latest. What is going on? What's popping off? Well, bloody hell, we've had nukes and all sorts popping off, and I think that's happened last night, which we're going to come to based on the Newcastle stuff, and also this morning based on normal social media activity, right? And people are losing heads. Well, we're going to dive in and see what is going on. So, if you didn't catch the content from last night, make sure you go and have a look. Much appreciated. Subscribe, notification bell. Tomorrow is the preview for West Ham versus Chelsea from the London Stadium. As we are playing West Ham on Friday night, there will be a watch long for that. So make sure you guys are here live and locked in. Let's get cracking. Social media is what we're all used to now. Hence, you're watching this. Wesley Fofana is at the centre of attention again and in the headlines because of something he's done. And it is bizarre. But is it what it looks like? Let's get into it. Here's what happened this morning. We had Wesley Fofana has removed everything Chelsea related off his Instagram. Now, when you actually go into his Instagram, right, it does actually look like that. He's gotten rid, if he had it in his bio, I don't know if he had Chelsea in his bio, but if he had Chelsea in his bio, that's gone. I want to be clear here, if. Any posts that he had are gone. When I go through the profile myself, he's got posts up with him and the French team. He's got posts up just him individually. He's got posts up of his free time. He's got posts up more of the French team. He's got posts up from Leicester. He's got the goodbye Leicester post. He's got posts when he was at Leicester. He's got posts when he was, in the hospital room. It's a frequent place for him, unfortunately, but you get the gist. We've even got his time prior to Leicester, right? And when you look at his time at Saint-Etienne, for example, all of that is still there. There's only one Chelsea post that he's left up, and that is when he joined. If that wants to load, there we go. So he's got that post up when he signed for Chelsea. That's still there. So we got to read the room here a little bit, right? Because when we all first heard this, I was like, oh my God, what's he done? What's he done? What's he done? Oh, is he flipping? Is he out of it? Is he off? Is he kicked off? What's going on? Does he want to leave? But then we did get clarity this morning, and from various places. Here's one of them. Fofana has no issues with Chelsea. All is well, says Kieran Gill at the Daily Mail. This follows on from what Alex Goldberg also said. Shout out to Alex. He did mention earlier on this morning that, you know, he tried to find out, is there anything? And from his end, he was just like, no, everything sounds normal. Everything's fine. Some people have come up with the theory, and it's plausible, that he wants a clean slate. From his Chelsea time, he just wants a clean slate. He wants to just start again. And this is why I went onto the page and I tried to find out. And this is why I think he might have actually left the announcement of when he signed. But everything else he's deleted. Maybe he does want that fresh start. Maybe he is looking at it from the perspective, okay, no, look, I'm going to treat this like I've just signed again. Yeah. And everything that's happened has been an absolute shambles. And we now need to look forward and start a new leaf, start fresh and start again. Maybe that is his intention. Maybe. All I will say is, personally, great, okay, if that is the intention, but it's not even about that. It's not even about, you know, our headspace mentally, where are you? If you're playing, you're playing. Just please play. Just please don't get injured again. This is the whole problem, is that you just kept getting injured and injured and injured and injured. Over his years at Chelsea now, he's played less than a season's worth of football. I mean, that is really bad, you know? So his aim shouldn't be to try and just turn a new leaf. His aim should be doing everything in his power to make sure that he can stay fit and do everything in his power to make sure his body can take whatever load it's going to take. As long as he does that, he will be playing. And if he's playing, well, his career will be back on track. Simple as that. So that's what happened this morning with Wesley Fofana. That's the way that I see it. Let me know how you see it in the comment section below. Much appreciated. Now, let's move to some of the transfer dealings. What's going on? Well, we've got an update on Xavi Simons. Again, is this an update? Yeah, maybe. Maybe this is an update, but it's not really, putting things into a situation where, oh my God, things are moving. We know where things are. This is just something else that's happened. Here it is. Another important English club, not Man City or Arsenal, tried to sign Xavi Simons, but the player position is that he wants Chelsea. He's locked in. I wonder, who is that? It's not City, it's not Arsenal. It can't be Liverpool. Maybe Tottenham. Maybe Tottenham. Man United? Maybe, but I don't think so. It must have had to be done ages ago. Because they went and got Cunha and they went and got Mbuemo. They don't need Xavi Simons now. So if that happened time ago. But I don't know, is it Man United? Maybe. Newcastle? Perhaps. They've tried everyone. Oh my God. That's Xavi Simons. But again, I want to stress, because we have to make sure that we're this is getting implanted into people's heads. Xavi Simons or Garnacho will not happen until, not will not happen, I'm saying will not happen until Nkunku or Jackson are gone. We need to look at them first. So, we got news on Jackson. And it could be good. It could be good. Here's the latest. So, Eduardo Burgos last night came out with Nicholas Jackson's future will be decided this week. Aston Villa are pushing hard for a loan with an obligation to buy. Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, AC Milan, Inter Milan and Juventus have all contacted his agent. Shout out Eduardo Burgos. Yeah, you're the first guy to actually come out and list out the clubs. I've been waiting for this. I said this a couple of days ago. I'm like, oh, who's actually in for Nico Jackson? Now we've got an idea. If these are all the clubs that have laid out interest, then fantastic. They've all contacted his agent. Brilliant. So we've got Villa, Forest, Newcastle, the two Milans and Juventus. Sweet as a nut. Sweet as a nut. Well, this whole loan business, like, we don't want a loan. But are Chelsea in a situation where they'll go, no, you know what? If push comes to shove, we might take a loan, but on one condition? Maybe. Personally, I would want straight cash, please, because I feel like that's important. But here's the latest from Ben Jacobs. So understand clubs interested in Nicholas Jackson are being told a loan with an obligation may be possible under the right conditions, which is a £10 million loan fee. Aston Villa are exploring a deal and a Newcastle or Milan move can't be discounted. Jackson is expected to have several options if Chelsea's £80 million valuation drops south of £70 million. So you see where this might be going. And what Ben Jacobs here has said has confirmed Eduardo Burgos' news that the clubs that are interested are actually the clubs that are interested. He's already said here that obviously as Aston Villa, but he did also mention Newcastle or a Milan move. It basically qualifies what Eduardo Burgos has been saying. So we now have a very good idea on the clubs that are interested in him. But a loan with an obligation to buy basically means buy now, pay later. But Chelsea's condition is buy now, £10 million loan fee, and then pay later for the rest. So if we're looking at 80 million and clubs want about 70 million, we can actually do a deal here and go, you know what? Okay, you pay £10 million loan fee, and then we'll bring the fee down for you to pay next season at 70 mil. And that could be something that clubs go, you know what? That sounds like a good deal. That might actually do it. What it means is that we will collect that money later, not now. Which, to be fair, considering our FFP situation or our net spend situation with this transfer window, I think we can afford to do that. Because it's like we've already said, all the outgoings that we're going to be making, we are going to be at a net zero, nearly at a net zero. If it means that, okay, we get 60 mil for Jackson or 70 mil for Jackson later, well, cool. Okay, it means that maybe in terms of net spend, we might be, 60 or 70 mil over. But that's fine because that's going to come back later. So it's not the end of the world. That's something that could unlock Jackson to leave within the next few days, maybe. And now may bring quite a lot of teams into the picture. So what does that do? Create some sort of a bidding war, perhaps, no? This is in Chelsea's interest. So this could be something that might work out to get a very good fee for Nicholas Jackson. But hold the phone, because there might be another club that comes in for Jackson now. A club that weren't really in for him at all. Hold that thought. Let me show you this from Fabrizio. This Jackson and Chelsea is over. Great, okay. So, I mean, that's not new news, is it? But just to double clarify, Jackson's definitely leaving. So for anyone saying, oh no, well, let's keep him, forget it. It's not happening. Not happening. He's gone, right? Let's go to this club that I was going to talk about. Who is this club that might actually now consider Nicholas Jackson? It had to be in it. It just has to be. It has to be because of what's happened this morning. There's always a way in for this club to buy someone from Chelsea. There always is. And we're always here for it because they're such a loyal customer. His latest from Arsenal. Arsenal forward Kai Havertz set for spell out with knee injury. Assessments on the 26-year-old Germany international at early stage, so prognosis plus duration unclear. But Arsenal actively exploring transfer market for signing to strengthen attack and provide cover. Arsenal, we might have something for you. we might have something for you, lads. We might, as we always do. We always do. And you got loyalty points with us now, yeah? You see, like we got loyalty points with Brighton. Yeah, you lot got loyalty points with us. So, just for you, Arsenal, just for you, yeah? We can offer Nicholas Jackson for you. At a bargain price. Exclusive price, just for you. 80 million. Yeah, because anyone else, we'd be going, listen, 100. But for you, because it's you, loyalty points, 20 million off and all that, you get it for 80. Take it and go. Take it and go. Yeah? Take it and go. You know it makes sense. Yeah? Sweet as a nut. So, Arsenal, you need a forward, don't worry. You might be late when it comes to Nkunku because it seems like he's on his way back to Germany, so you might be a little too late for that one. But Nicholas Jackson, he's right there. 80 mil, it's yours. Take it. Great cover, versatile, plays a striker. You need someone. I mean, what will happen if Gyökeres gets injured, eh? Got to think of that. Got to think of that. Nico Jackson. You were going to play Kai Havertz maybe up top as cover. Well, he's injured now for a long time. So, Nicholas Jackson, You even have an option. You even have an option with Nicholas Jackson to give yourself, because I know you signed a new contract for Trossard. Well, if you're in a desperate condition here and you actually need someone to fill in on the left, Nicholas Jackson. 80 mil, lads, for you. Such a great deal, man. Count your blessings. Count your blessings. It makes sense. Listen, get on the phone. So that's the latest from Arsenal. Kai Havertz is out for a long time, it seems. So what are Arsenal going to do? Well, like I said, Jackson's a great option. I'll get in now, because we've only just found out Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, the two Milans, Juventus, blah, 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 blah. They're all coming in, and you Arsenal, you're technically, you're one of the biggest clubs that I've mentioned in that list. So you should be able to find a way, So get on the phone. Now, talking about Arsenal, you might want to keep watching here. I'm about to explain why, yeah? Let's go to Newcastle. Because they might need a striker. So Arsenal, you want to get yourselves ahead whilst you can. Just saying. Jackson, because he might be up for grabs by someone else. So check this out. After Isak's statement last night, Newcastle, like I did say, released a statement. I did say the rumor on the street was that Newcastle were going to release a statement. They in fact did an hour or so after I said that in the video last night. Here it is. So, we are disappointed to have been alerted to a social media post by Alexander Isak this evening. What do you mean alerted? Mate, you follow him. So, the Newcastle United admin was just like, oh, Isak's released a statement, lads. That's not alerted. You know. We are clear in response that Alex remains under contract and that no commitment has ever been made by a club official that Alex can leave Newcastle United this summer. We want to keep our best players, but we also understand players have their own wishes and we listen to their views. As explained to Alex and his representatives, we must always take into consideration the best interests of Newcastle United, the team and our supporters in all decisions, and we have been clear that the conditions of a sale this summer have not transpired. We do not foresee those conditions being met. This is a proud football club with proud traditions and we strive to retain our family feel. Alex remains part of our family and will be welcomed back when he is ready to rejoin his teammates. Flipping out. This is Newcastle in this situation trying to show chest. Yeah. And look, my own opinion here, yeah. If I'm trying to read in between the lines here, this is Newcastle telling everyone, look, he's our player. Yeah, and we want to keep him, but no one has met our evaluation for a sell, just saying. So, whilst no one does that, he's here, but they haven't categorically denied that he is not for sale. They haven't said that. They've made it known that okay, there's no one at the club that has made it clear to him that he's available this summer, but they've said that the conditions for a sale haven't been met. I'm telling you, all Liverpool need to do is come back in with a bid that is close to 150 mil and Newcastle have to consider. Because I got to be honest. Now, if what my theory that I think is going to happen doesn't actually transpire and Newcastle just go, no, it's 150 mil or get lost. And Liverpool go, no, you know what? In the end, you are not going to pay 150 mil. And then it just doesn't happen. I think that would be chaotic from Newcastle. Because the risk that comes with that is huge. The player loses, Newcastle lose, everyone's a loser. And why? Some people would look at it and face value and go, no, but Newcastle keep their best player. That means that's a win. Yes, normally, the player wants out. You're going to keep someone that doesn't care. You're going to keep someone that isn't going to play at their best. They're going to be sulky. They're not going to be happy. They're just going to drag themselves. Do you really want that? Or if you really are about, okay, no, look, we want to show chest and the player's not committed, so he's going to be benched. Okay, well, great. At that point, he's just going to rot. He's going to rot. His value might start to come down. And then what? Ultimately as well, and Newcastle have to think about this. If it does go wrong, and he's still at the club, and he just wears down his contract, then what? Does he leave for free? That would be Newcastle missing out on around 130, 40 million. I would rather take that, reinvest, go and get someone who is actually committed and move on. Move on. You can do a lot with 140 million. Even if it's not 150 million at the valuation, but it's close enough to be able to take that money, let the player go and go, you know what, we're going to reinvest this and actually bring in someone that is ready to bang in goals for this club and is committed 100%. I think that is the best way. Obviously, you would want to keep your best player, but the player hasn't been professional here. You know, Crystal Palace are in a position where they go, no, you know what, we want to keep Eze. And even then they haven't. They've gone, no, you know, you're free to leave. We'll accept a bid, no problem. And even then he's kept professional. You know, Xavi Simons is at Leipzig right now. He wants to join Chelsea. He's waiting for the move, but he's gone, no, you know what? I'm still going to play. I'm still going to put my head down. I'm still going to score. I'm going to give everything. And then when I leave, I leave. Isak hasn't done that. This is what people need to understand. So you're keeping someone who is going to become a detriment to you, even if he's your best player. But you're going to put everything in jeopardy just because you kind of want to look a little bit big. And I understand discipline and showing a little bit of authority is a good thing. But in the right context, the player wants out. It's done. It's wrecked. I mean, look, they're releasing statements publicly, both sides. How chaotic do you want this to be? Do you know what I mean? That's how I look at it. I think that Newcastle now, the damage is done. They need to look forward. I would take that money. Take that money. Let the player go. He doesn't want to be with you. You know, this is going to turn toxic, man. There's no coming back from this. You can't even have the trust that Isak is fully committed. Go on. And then you run the risk of not even getting money for him down the line because he could run down his contract, or he could just be sulky and not play well, or just not give a crap, and he's getting paid because he's contracted. Some people come from the angle of, no, but you know what? He's under contract. He has to perform. End of story. A contract, back in the day, maybe meant that. A contract doesn't mean that now. Modern day football, that's not what a contract means. A contract doesn't equal loyalty anymore. A contract equals protection. That's what a contract is now. Got nothing to do with loyalty. Don't look at a contract and go, that guy's loyal. Forget it. In the 90s, maybe. Early 2000s, maybe. After that, things changed. So let's not kid ourselves. A contract is there in place as protection for the club and for the player. That is it. Nothing more. It's an agreement. It doesn't mean, oh no, I'm signing this. I'm completely loyal and I'll do whatever I need to do for the duration of my contract. I mean, yeah, players can look at it from that perspective, but it doesn't mean that's the case 100%. Right now, Newcastle go, no, look, you're contracted, right? You're part of this club. Cool. So using that, we are within our rights to ask for a certain fee because you're under this contract, right? They can do that. That's their protection. And even for the player, his protection is, I'm under contract. So no matter what you think of me, even if you don't want to play me, I can just sit here and do nothing and you're going to pay me. That's protection. That's what it is. That's a contract now. It doesn't mean you can't get out of it. Sell the player. Contract doesn't mean crap. It's gone. The contract is bought out. You know what I mean? The best thing to do would be to just let Isak go. Doesn't want to be there. And get the money. 130, 140 million. It's banging. You know, that's a British transfer record. that's outrageous. That's just my thought on it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. Now, I want to end on something that I've not actually spoken about before ever. I've not on these videos spoken about another YouTuber. But we got another YouTuber in the news. And it's mad. When you look at the content creation game, this is actually outrageous. And I know when I do watch-alongs, you guys wish that I could be able to provide this, right? And I'm going to explain after I read this out to you. But here's the latest from The Athletic in regards to Mark Goldbridge. The Bundesliga has become the first major European football league to award part of its live broadcasting rights in the United Kingdom to a content creator, with That's Football, a channel hosted by the online personality Mark Goldbridge, to show matches this season. The new agreement is due to be announced today and is expected to be in place for the Bundesliga's first round of games this weekend, starting with Friday night's clash between defending champions Bayern Munich and RB Leipzig at the Allianz Arena. On top of this, we have Mark Goldbridge is among the Bundesliga's new live rights holders in the UK. The Bundesliga will also be shown live on the BBC, The Overlap, Sky Sports and Amazon Prime this season. So what this means is, so for example, the Bayern Munich RB Leipzig game will be shown on, I think the BBC are showing it, but Mark Goldbridge on his watch-along will be showing the game on screen as he's reacting to it, which is something I know so many of you, at least before, whilst you didn't know how it worked, were in my comments going, Younes, show the game. Why are you not showing the game? I can't show the game. Especially when it comes to the Prem, none of us can show football matches because it's copyrighted. We haven't got the rights to show you guys the game. So what happens is the Premier League will take down our watch-alongs from YouTube if we did show the game. I could show you the game, but my channel would be taken down. I can't do it. You know, the rights are owned by the Premier League, or the rights are owned by whichever league that we're talking about and we're reacting to. Mark Goldbridge is the first content creator to be able to get not exclusive, but part of rights of a league. So when he's going to be doing Bundesliga watch-alongs now, he actually gets to show the game on screen and show his face reacting to it. So you get to watch the match on his watch-along and you get to see his reaction. I wish we could all do that. That would be mint. If we could do that for the Prem, that would be ridiculous, but the Prem would never do it. I don't think the Prem would ever do it. but who knows? Maybe in future, maybe this is the start of something. And you know what? It would be pretty mental. Because I know for your viewing experience, and at least for ours as well, we will be able to show you exactly what we're reacting to whilst you're watching the game on our screens. That would be crazy. So Mark Goldbridge is the first one to be able to get this done, but it's the Bundesliga. I think he gets to show 34 games this season. Bayern Munich Leipzig is one of them. But what my question is, how much engagement is this actually going to get? Considering, okay, Bayern Munich Leipzig, people will watch. But what happens when he does, I don't know, Wolfsburg against, you know, Mainz? I don't know, like, which Bundesliga teams, you know, are there? You know, are people going to watch? That's the thing, because it's the Bundesliga. For the Prem, though, the Prem would clean up. The Prem would clean up. If we all allowed to show things on screen, oh my goodness, man. The engagement would be stupid. But one thing's for sure, it would kill all the mainstream broadcasters. It would kill it. Sky Sports, BT, TNT, Amazon, all these. I know for a fact, this would kill that instantly, because it's just so much more interactive and people get to watch games via their favorite personalities online. That would be crazy. That's why I don't think the Prem would ever do it. But it could be the start of something, and it could be where things might be heading in future. You never know. So let me know your thoughts. Do you like this or do you not? And if you do, explain why. And if you don't, explain why. Much appreciated. And I will catch all of you later on for video number 2. So I'll catch all of you tonight. See you then. Subscribe, notification bell. And catch you later. In a bit, take care and peace.